Hi, my name is Aaron, and this is my show, Reeducation, and today I'm going to talk about something that I haven't talked about in a few years. Conspiracy theories. Specifically, this time we're going to talk about QAnon. Now, QAnon is basically a far-right conspiracy that talks about how basically everybody that's to the left of center has some sort of involvement in a child sex trafficking ring and something profit. I'm not entirely sure how it works. It all sounds to me a lot like the underpants gnomes theory. Somehow this QAnon conspiracy, this child sex trafficking ring, is supposed to be being used to bring down the Trump administration, though I still haven't exactly seen how. But for the most part, it's just a bunch of weird, random bullshit that talks about how leftists, and even Hillary Clinton, who is a conservative, are involved in doing things that are very bad. Pedophilia. It's kind of a gross situation. And ever since I became an anarcho-communist, anarcho, the abolishment of all unnecessary hierarchies, and communist, the work and control and ownership of the means of production, ever since I became one of those, everybody's been asking me on the right what I think about QAnon. I think it's bullshit. I think it's stupid and ridiculous. To a point. I mean, it's not entirely out of the question for people in power to be involved in child sex trafficking or pedophilia. Just insert clip of the Catholic Church right here. Unfortunately, it's a just known truth that people in Hollywood, people in the church, and people in positions of power in general, for some reason, happen to have a lot of sexual allegations brought up against them. And really, this isn't so hard to understand. When you're in a position of power, you have authority over many people, well, or even over anybody. And when you have authority over somebody else, they see you as being powerful. Now, when somebody is seen as being powerful and they want something from you, well, it's kind of hard for you as a person with no power to refuse them. That's kind of how coercion works. There is a power dynamic when it comes to a person at the top versus the person that is at the bottom. The person at the bottom is, to a certain point, subservient to the person at the top because they are afraid of all sorts of consequences happening if they don't do the thing that the person at the top wants them to do. If it's sexual favors and your boss happens to be the one that's asking you for them, you might be compelled by threat of losing your job to perform such acts. It's just something that happens to be a part of hierarchies, a part of, the structure, the way that things are set up. So, when people in the right wing are looking at conspiracy theories like QAnon, they're thinking, well, you know what? It's obvious that there have been a lot of allegations and actually convictions of people, doing heinous things to children in the church and in media and so forth. So I can see how it's not that big of a stretch to think that someone so unbelievably heinous as Hillary Clinton or Barack fuckhead Obama, kill everyone you can possibly find with a drone strike Obama, wouldn't do something like that. I mean, they're already terrible people. They're already horrible, deplorable idiots, fucking disgusting fools. I hate them. I hate them so goddamn much. It's not a difficult stretch to see that those motherfuckers would be doing something shady. It seems like it would be the most obvious thing in the world, but here's the problem. I don't necessarily disagree that it's possible, okay? A lot of things are possible. A flying spaghetti monster could be possible. I'm not saying that it is. I'm not saying that it exists. Just like I'm not saying that QAnon is necessarily possible. But what I do know is that right now we're having kind of an awakening in the world. Some people call it being red-pilled. Other people call it being woke. There are many different terms for it, but there is an awakening to a certain extent, and people are starting to realize that there's a lot of things that they've been being lied to their entire lives about. And when you start thinking that everything in your life has been a lie, or at least the majority of it, then maybe you start slipping down the road of believing conspiracy theories. I mean, it's not hard to go down that path. I almost went down that path myself with thinking that the USSR and Stalin and Mao and all of those people were probably not that bad. I, in fact, for a very short amount of time, possibly even a week or so, thought, hey, they might actually be the good guys. But something that we have to realize is that sometimes in life, there are no good guys. Just like Stalin and Mao were terrible, so is the United States and every politician that's in it, sans maybe a few select ones. Now, the interesting thing about all of this is that it really brings up the question, why do we believe conspiracies? Why do we believe in these crazy ideas? And that's pretty simple. We believe them because it's hard for us to believe something is happening that is against our narrative, against the way that we view the world. And to a lot of the people that believe in QAnon, it's hard for them to believe that even though their favorite daddy won the election, Grand Admiral President God Trump won the election, it's hard for them to understand why things are still so terrible, why nothing has actually changed, and why everything is, in fact, getting worse. And then you enter the conspiracy. Well, it can't possibly be that Trump is just a terrible president, or that the system itself is corrupted to a point at which nobody that is elected into any position of power is going to change it, or there's a child sex trafficking ring, and all of the Democrats and possibly a whole bunch of billionaires are involved in it, and they're actually secretly controlling the government somehow from a pizza parlor, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. The fact of the matter remains that they don't have any reason to believe these things, but they have strong reason to not believe the truth. So therefore, believing in some kind of crazy conspiracy seems like the more legitimate reason, the more legitimate thing to believe. It's not like a lot of these people are stupid either. Like I said before, they're woke. They're awake now. They've been red-pilled or blue-pilled. I don't know what the fuck your terminology is, but they've come to the conclusion that a lot of people have been lying to them throughout their lives, and they want to find a solution. They want to know the truth. That's an inherently human concept. That's the whole basis of the show Star Trek. It's not necessarily an insane thing to think that a lot of these elites are doing crazy, disgusting, terrible stuff. It's just more likely that the entire system is corrupt, nothing is going to get solved, and the people that are at the top are going to continue to do things that are heinous and disgusting and deplorable. So even though I'm not entirely convinced that Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, and Justin Trudeau are involved in some sort of child sex trafficking ring, or worse, drinking the blood of virgin baby children to sustain their desire to live for eternity, even though they're probably being accused of all of these things, I'm going to withhold my judgment until given actual, credible proof. But that doesn't mean that I necessarily think that it's impossible. I mean, sure, it's possible. A lot of things are possible. It's just really stupid. It's just so fantastically stupid. And I mean, when you look at the facts and the evidence that are provided, the fucking pizza parlor that they talk about having this sex trafficking ring in doesn't even have a goddamn basement. But for those of you who don't know or who are watching in the future, some sort of alien race that came back to Earth and discovered our YouTube programs, if you're watching this right now, I'm specifically talking about the child sex trafficking ring that happened in the basement of a pizza parlor that somehow doesn't even have a fucking basement. Oh, and I forgot to mention, this Q, the guy that posted all of these articles, or possibly several people who posted these articles, they go by the name Q because of the level of clearance that they apparently have. The Q level of clearance. Whether or not that's true, I don't know. I think it's stupid as fuck, but who knows? You know what? Hold on. Nope, my phone's dead, so I can't even Google the shit. Let's Google this. Fucking Googling it! Okay, so it seems like it is actually true. It is actually a thing. It's a level of clearance. Still fucking stupid, though. When you go so far into being a conspiracy theorist where you start making excuses and bringing up like completely illogical, unbelievable things and making them seem like they're the truth, then, you know, you probably need to just take a little bit of a step back, reevaluate, have a breath, have a smoke, and figure your shit out, because it's just not true. Anyway, my name is Aaron. This is my show, Reeducation. Thanks for watching.